Itsjustjord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Little Nightmares Theory video. It's also a very Little Nightmares Theory video as well, as we'll be using evidence from each of the games. But with that being said, I'm going to be doing the format that I have used for a lot of my latest videos, as it seems to be working very well, and it's quite easy for you guys and gals to follow. So with that being said, let's get into today's theory video. Oh, and of course, spoiler alert. But before we get into today's theory video, I'd like to take a few seconds to mention our sponsor, Amino. Amino is an app that you can download on iOS and Android. Be sure to check out Amino with my referral link below and follow me for my up-and-coming stories. I'm really excited to be using Amino's brand new feature, Stories. You can find my stories and my profile by searching my name globally on the app. I'll be making lots of stories on Amino about my animation process on the Papercraft series, and some early footage and some behind the scenes of theory videos, and some small previews of up-and-coming theories. For example, the recent Papercraft animation was shared a few days earlier on Amino Stories, and if you want to find specific communities like Little Nightmares for example, all you have to do is search Little Nightmares and join. Thank you Amino for sponsoring this video, and don't forget when you do sign up, make sure to use the code linked in the description. Now let's continue with the theory. So, this theory video begins with me explaining the spoiled girl. Now for those of you who don't know who this character is, she is one of the enemies that we face off with in Very Little Nightmares. She's very distinguishable and seems to live in the nest where the Very Little Nightmares is set. And also something to note is that she is actually the only first human child enemy within the game. The reason I nickname her the spoiled girl is her obsession to want things, dolls in particular. But we will speak more in depth about the girl in a new theory video coming soon. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something in particular with this theory. Where or who are the spoiled girl's parents? The nest seems to be a lot like the moor, glowing eyes on the wall that turn you into stone if you're caught by the light. There's even gnomes and enemies in the nest like the craftsman, who in the moor would be like our janitor, Roger, with his long arms and able to grab you off a shelf, and he looks a lot like he enjoys making dolls. And the butler, who is on the moor like a mix between the chefs and the way they kill you, and the butler and the way he seems to kill you with the same sort of way as the lady, using those telepathical powers and whatnot. With that being said, the nest even has a trash monster which on the moor acts like a shoe monster. There are other similarities as well, metal cages, and even trapping children in these cages, eye symbols on the door. So I'm mentioning all this because to me, the moor was unique to the world of Little Nightmares. So why is the nest so familiar? To me, this surely has to be a connection between the moor and the nest, and we do see a few, including the picture of the silhouette we see at the end of the DLC. We also see gnomes in the nest, and we only know of one person who can turn children into gnomes, and that's the lady. So going back to the main focus of this theory video, the spoiled girl. What confuses me about her is where are her parents? She seems to be being looked after by the butler, who we see with pots of tea and even doing the ironing of the children's clothes, and the craftsman making her dolls. And we know that she has parents as we see pictures of them. And I'm obviously referring to the picture with the two legs stood next to her, one in black trousers and the other with cream-like a dress. There's another photo underneath this, one of a baby's crib, which to me hints towards the parents, but there was another photo next to these ones, on the other side of the wall, that stood out to me. This one. Anyone else reminded of the hangman when they see this? If it is the hangman, why would she have a picture of him in her main entrance? And I know what you might be thinking, could that not just be the butler? And judging by the photo and what we see of the butler, no. See how the butler's trousers are riding up his ankles with no socks on. Also another element to note is, notice how the butler wears a long tailed coat with a red lining on the inside. I cannot see any of these in the photo, not to mention how high he would have to float above the chair, as the butler seems to float just above the floor, so even above the chair wouldn't seem to get that height. Also, if we zoom into the photo, you can just about see a gap in the chair, and where we would find the symbol of the eye on the chair, kind of like a brand if you will, which also is the one sharing the same features of the chair on the moor that we actually see on that first level with 6. So there's the correlation between them two. So could these photos in this room and the happening of their placement mean her dad could have been the hanging man? Are they connected? But if so, how did he even end up in the moor? And who is the mother? It seems to me there are a lot of things that are going to start piecing together between Very Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares. The real question is now, how much more can we link the games together? And what of the story can we unfold? So in the conclusion of today's theory video, I theorise that the little girl's parents is currently the female mother is unknown, but I believe and theorise that the father is potentially the hanging man. And anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's video, and remember to share your ideas in the comments below. And if you don't feel like commenting on the video, then go to my Twitter or Discord and share there. And remember to like, comment and subscribe, all the usual YouTubey stuff. I do apologise for the lack of uploads lately. There are just a few things I've been working out and all that jazz, but I promise you, with this video going out, there are going to be a lot of theories to follow. I'm literally working on a few of them right now. We've got another theory coming out next week, so make sure you stick around for that one, because that one's really interesting. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all in the next theory video. Bye!